Hi, this is Patty, Evolutionary Astrologer with the Astrology of 2019. You can find me at pattypost.nl/en. And we have reached the halfway mark of 2019, can you believe it? And we are in for quite a treat this month, as July is quite the month astrologically. It's highly emotionally charged with all the Cancer energy still going on. We have a whole set of planetary oppositions, Mercury is going retrograde, and we have 2 eclipses. So let's dive in. On the 2nd of July, we have the new moon of this month, and it takes place at 9:16 in the evening, Central European time, and 1:16 Pacific time. And it takes place at 10:37 degrees of Cancer. Now, this is going to be a total solar eclipse. And an eclipse can only take place when at the new moon, and of course the moon is fully covering the solar disk at a solar eclipse. And by the way, isn't that fascinating? Because the sun is really big and the moon is really tiny, and they actually fit together at a solar eclipse. Now, the fact that this moon is a solar eclipse makes the energy of this new moon extremely powerful. The new moon is always a new beginning, and this new beginning is extremely powerful because of the eclipse. And the 2 eclipses of this month are really setting the tone for the rest of 2019. And here in Europe, we cannot see the eclipse, but it is visible in parts of South America and the Pacific Ocean. It doesn't mean if we cannot witness it, that we cannot feel it. We do experience its power and its powerful energy. An eclipse can only take place when the sun and the moon are close to the nodes of the moon. And in this case, the sun and the moon are very close to the north node. Now, the north node of the moon is where we are headed as a collective and also individually, is something that we want to learn. Now, Cancer is about our inner world, our emotional body. It's about softening, healing, self-care. It's the principle of mother. But it's also about home, your house, and family. And these themes can come up during this eclipse, and actually also in the days before and the days after the new moon. Exactly opposite this new moon is Saturn, who is so strong in its own sign of Capricorn, and together with the south node. And where the north node is the place that we want to head to, the south node is where we want to move away from, both as a collective and individually. And what is the South Node in Capricorn? It's about old, rigid structures. It's about governments. It's about principles that are outdated. And it's about control. And where the moon is really that motherly principle, Saturn and Capricorn is the father principle, which gives this new moon quite a strange tug of war feel. It's just like 2 opposite forces are really in a tug of war energy. And just like with any other astrological phenomena, if this eclipse hits a sensitive point in your own personal birth chart, you are feeling the effects even more. But since this is quite a powerful eclipse and powerful energy, I'm suspecting we all get hit. And if not, then look around and see the people around you. You might see the emotional effects in people around you. And as always, make sure that you not get carried away by this energy, and always return to your inner eye of the storm when things get really emotional. Really sit with this energy and anything that comes up during this new moon, so you can process it more easily. Now, a few days later, on the 8th of July, Mercury at 4 degrees of Leo starts its 3-week retrograde period. And when Mercury turns retrograde, Mars is actually conjuncting it, so right on top of it. And Mars is the planet of war and courage and willpower and action, forward motion, and gives a very weird energy to this Mercury retrograde, because Mars in Leo wants to go ahead and Mercury retrograde rather thinks about it a little more. And you can also experience maybe other people trying to push you over the edge, where you just want to overthink things. Mars and Mercury in Leo can make our communication quite bombastic. This is sort of a drama queen energy. But Mercury retrograde are always excellent times to evaluate things, the things that you have been working on in the past few months. Look at these things. Maybe you have missed things, or you can improve things. So this is really an evaluation period. And Mercury hits the same small area in the zodiac 3 times, so it's really going back and forth. So during this period, you're going back over, and actually you're going back over twice. It hits it 3 times. Uranus at 5 degrees of Taurus gets in this battlefield with Mercury and especially with Mars, and this gives the energy as of the 8th of July and also the days after quite an explosive electrical charge. So be careful, we can really blurt out things that we might regret later. And by the way, this can also show up as literal shocks, like earthquakes, shocks of the earth. Then on the 9th of July, we have the Sun still in Cancer, going into a standoff with Saturn in Capricorn, still with that South Node, which again highlights the theme of the new moon. And the moon in Libra is actually right in the middle of these two, also moving into an aspect with Pluto, which means that emotions can run very high at this time, during this day, the 9th of July. And the Sun continues the path through Cancer, coming into an opposition with Pluto on the 14th of July, which is Independence Day, 14 juillet in France. And this puts the theme of power into the spotlights. And we can very much feel this in our own personal lives, of course, but let's also keep an eye on the world stage, where there's so much power play going on right now. So again, very highly emotionally charged days. Now, on a lighter note, we still have the ongoing square between Jupiter in Sagittarius and Neptune in Pisces. And still for the rest of the month, it actually goes on until fall. And this is great dreamy energy. Dream big, have a big vision. And more to its shadow side, it's also walking with your head in the clouds or being overly optimistic about your vision. But still, this is a nice touch of the energy that you can still make use of to have your big dreams and big visions. Then on the 16th of July, we have the next eclipse, and that is a partial lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse can only take place at the full moon. And it takes place at 11:38 p.m. Central European Time and 3:38 Pacific Time, and it takes place at 24 degrees of Capricorn. Well, it is quite a Capricorn party there at the 24 degrees of Capricorn, since we do not only have the moon there, but also Saturn, Pluto, and of course the South Node. Now, Saturn Capricorn energy is very much about control. And with the Sun in Cancer, letting go of control. And Capricorn is also about doing things that are hard to do. And everyone knows that letting go of control is actually quite hard. So great time to let go of this control, and also beautiful energy to focus on a new project that has heart for you. Full moons are always the end of a cycle, full manifestation, everything is in the light. And sometimes it makes things that are invisible, things that are hidden, suddenly visible. And since this is again an eclipse, the energy gets even more of a boost. So again, the emotions can run high during this full moon, but try and make it to your advantage and use this energy constructively. Now, on the 23rd of July, we have the sun going into Leo, and this is always a party time of the year because Leo really is about celebrating life. And here in Europe, lots of people have vacation holidays during this time, so it really is a party time for a lot of people. So enjoy that energy after all this watery Cancer emotional energy. Now, with this Leo energy, we kind of finish off the month, and on the 1st of August, we actually have our next new moon, and I am going to talk about that new moon, of course, in my next video, but make sure or be sure that it actually already hits you by the end of July. So this month is really about balance. It's the caring mother and the strict father in opposition. And trying to balance them, because yes, we need to soften, yes, we need to heal, and yes, we need to take care of ourselves, but at the same time we need to take responsibility for our processes, be accountable. So being disciplined in letting go, for instance, so this softening can take place without making us weak. And look this month, whatever comes up in your life in this highly emotionally charged month, because it really sets the tone for the rest of 2019. And I just hope that you can use this information to navigate the energies more easily. I wish you a wonderful summer month here in the Northern Hemisphere, and I love to see you back in August. Bye.